Hi everyone, hello world. Welcome back to the Nurse Code. It is moi, Anna, your favorite person in the world. Think I forgot? Nah. Welcome back to my channel, you guys. For all my new subscribers, welcome. We're so glad to have you here. Welcome to the family. For those of you guys who have been rocking with me since day one, miss you guys. So today we're gonna be talking about different program types. I know it can be a bit confusing when you want to choose which program to go to, but rest assured, your girl got you. Don't worry about it, I got you. Alright? So, we'll be, and yes, football season is about to start, so you know I gotta rep my New York Giants, my big blue, yeah. um, so yeah, jumping right into topic. The two nursing programs that they have available is the ADN program, which is the associate's degree, and the BSN, which is the bachelor's degree. Now I'm just gonna go through like a rundown of like the pros and cons of both and the few similarities that both have in common. Now, for the ADN program, which is the one that I'm doing, and this will be, I have my associate degree, which I got while obtaining all my prerequisites. So that doesn't really come into play except for the credits that I've earned that I can bring over into my ADN program. But if you're seeking a second degree, if you already have a bachelor's in whether it's science, art, history, whatever it is, I would recommend getting your BSN in nursing. Don't bother getting the ADN because it won't be worth it because you'll already have most of the bachelor's credit that you need for the BSN program. And whereas typically it takes about 4 years for the BSN program, but if you're seeking a second degree, they have those bridge programs. Depending on the school that you go to, they have those bridge programs where you can do it within 2 years, the least, I believe. 18 months to 2 years. Alright, so we're going to focus on the ADN right now, which is the one that I'm doing, is an associate program. You can still graduate with your ADN or from an ADN program and jump right into the workforce. What department you'll be able to work in, that's where the two degrees come into play. But for the ADN, it's a lot shorter. It's about 18 to 24 months. The program that I'm in, it's 18 months because I've already finished all my prerequisites. So I just have to do the core nursing classes. So the more you get out of the way before you get into the program is the shorter the program will be. So it's a lot shorter, which means less credit, which less money you'll have to pay. So I'd recommend getting all your prereqs out of the way at a public school or public college or university if you're going to choose to do your program at a private school. Okay. Like I said before, you can still get out of the program or finish your program and jump right into the workforce. Most new grads with an ADN degree, they go into patient care, like the hospitals, clinics, doctor's office. Those are the jobs that you'll be able to obtain with the ADN. For the title, the ADN title is on your badge. All it'll say is RN, whereas the BSN, it'll say certified RN. For the BSN, which I'm gonna jump into now, for the BSN, it does take a longer time. Like I said before, it's about 2 to 4 years for the BSN program. Depending if it's your first degree, it'll be the full 4 years. If it's your second degree, it'll be about 18 months to 2 years. And the BSN is a lot more research based, whereas the ADN is just the need to know necessity classes like the med surg, pharmacology. The BSN, they'll mostly have you guys doing research. And in my nursing dimension class, we just had a project to do where we had to do a review of a evidence-based practice that was already reviewed, and it was so hard trying to find an article that was like a peer-reviewed article that had like all the stats that we needed. It was so hard because we weren't educated on how to look for those kind of stuff, or how to dissect and understand those articles. Whereas in a BSN program, that's really what they teach you guys how to do, how to find research, how to write papers. So that's pretty much what the BSN is. BSN is. And whereas for the ADN, you can come out and get a bedside job. For the BSN, you can jump right into a leadership role. You can run public health facilities, and you can do research projects on your own, whereas having to be supervised by somebody else. And like I said before, as for the title, you'll have certified RN instead of just an RN. And that's kind of how you can tell which nurses are, which nurses have their bachelor's and which don't. Now, don't be confused. If you have a ADN, you can still be hired in a hospital, or you can still be hired in the same facility that a nurse with a BSN is hired in. You probably won't have the same role, but you can still work in the same facility. And I know a lot of facilities, they give you either a year or 2 years to obtain your BSN. So you can still be hired. They'll just put you on a timestamp and when you have to obtain your BSN. And as for the salary costs, the research that I've done, there's not much difference in pay wise for having your ADN versus your BSN. If anything, I feel like it just depends on the the location that you're in. One, which is very important. I live in Florida. In Florida, they don't really pay their nurses that well as if I was in California or New York, or you know. So it definitely depends on where you live and the role that you play in that facility. Like if you're in leadership, you know you're going to be getting paid more than a nurse that's on the bedside. So you kind of have to take all those things into effect when you think about salary rise. Now, cost wise for the programs, hands down, the BSN is a lot more expensive because it's a lot more credit. I mean, that's just common sense. But I would recommend, if this isn't your second degree that you're seeking, I would recommend getting your ADN, because I'm about to pay like what, 20k for my ADN, give or take. I'm in a private school, so that's why it's so much. But I'm about to pay about 20k for my ADN, and then like I said, I live in Florida, so I can go to a state college and pay like 5k for my bachelor's, because like I said, it's just research. You're only gonna need so much more credits to get your bachelor's. So if you're coming right out of the high school or coming right out of getting your associate's degree, I would just get your ADN and then jump right back into school to get your bachelor's. Because the higher up you go in education, the more opportunities there is, more doors, to be open for you. So in the health field, you never stop learning, you never stop going to school. It's just a continuum for your education. But if it is your second degree, I would definitely jump right into the BSN program, because you'll only need so much more credits in order to get your BSN in nursing. So yeah, guys, that's pretty much um, all I have for you guys. And before I go back to the whole program cost difference, the initial BSN 4-year degree will cost a whole lot more if you go in straight through it, versus if you get your ADN and then go to like a state college or a public school to get your bachelor's. Because like I said, I go to a private school, so the bachelor's program is about 40,000, I believe, twice as much, or could be more. I'm not sure. Could be more. So me spending 20,000 for my ADN and then go into a public school to get my bachelor's for 5K, that's only me spending 25,000 versus 40,000. And also, what I would recommend if you do decide to go to a private school to get your to complete your nursing program, I would recommend going to a public school, public college, or university to get your prerequisites in. That's only if you're going to choose to go to a private school. Because if you do your associate's degree in the private setting, a lot of those credits will not be able to transfer out to the public school once you're ready to get your bachelor's, if you're not going to get it with the private school. So, where if you take it at a public school, if you take your prereqs at a public school, you can transfer the credits wherever, whether it's a private school or a public school. So that's the one thing that always gets a lot of people. They do their prereqs at a private school, and then if they do decide to like continue their education at a public school, a lot of those credits can't be transferred, and they have to end up retaking those same classes again. So be very careful with that. But yeah, no matter what path you take, whether you get your ADN or your BSN, at the end of the day, we all have to sit down and take the same NCLEX. Okay, whether you do the ADN for 18 months, 24 months, BSN for 2 years or 4 years, when we get done with the curriculum, we all have to sit down and take that NCLEX, that dreaded NCLEX. So that's really the one like major thing that both programs have in common is that you still have to take the NCLEX. Say this with me. I still have to take the NCLEX. Yes. So you still have to take the NCLEX no matter what. No matter if you go to a private school, public school, still have to take the NCLEX. So you guys, depending on what direction you want to go in, what role you want to take on as a nurse, whether you want to teach, whether you want to be in a leadership role, whether you want to work on at the bedside, doctor's office, work in a specialty. You just have to know what you want and choose accordingly, and know what credentials you already have behind you. And I didn't say this, but regardless if you have your ADN or your BSN, you can still work in specialty. You can still work in the ICU. You can still work in ER. You can still work in oncology. You can still work in um, operating room. But most of those are internship. So you have to give about 2 years of internship, and they'll teach you. Same thing goes for mother labor and delivery. They'll teach you, what you need to know for that specific specialty. But either way, whether you have an ADN or a BSN, you can still apply for those specialty. So, you just kind of have to decipher which is best for you and the direction that you want your career to go in. Okay? You guys still have to do your research depending on the school that you want to go to, because every school is different, every state is different, so you really have to be careful with those. As always, if you guys haven't already subscribed to my channel, please go ahead and do so. Also, follow me on Instagram at futurern_Anna with 2 N's. And if you guys have any questions, word of encouragement, any topics that you want me to touch on, or any videos that you guys want me to do, yeah, let me know. Message me on Instagram. I check my Instagram more than I check any other notification. So yeah, DM me, and hopefully these videos are helpful. Please go ahead and thumbs up, like, share, subscribe. The whole shindig. Yes, and for those of you guys who are wondering where I get my hair from, I'm going to leave the link in the description box below. I told you I got you guys. But yeah, so I'll see you guys next time.